everybody.
City Pigeons.
E-A.
Still doing it.
L-E-S Eagles.
Let's go.
Woo! Super Bowl champ.
Never forget. Never forget.
Oh, man.
Episode 117. 100 seems like a distant memory. Starting to think about 200 at this point, guys. I actually was thinking about 117 episodes. That's 117 hours. How many days?
That's more than
That's
117 hours, buddy.
All right, fair enough. But that's however many days of our lives, man.
That's a lot.
Wow. Oh, man. I think it's all been worth it. And no one
It's actually not that many. It's if you do it like that, it's less than 5 days.
I mean, we wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
We wouldn't change a thing. Well, wonderful to be here.
5
This
days of
is the episode known as Early Returns, folks, because we are looking at some early returns on the Philly season.
All right, I got a question real quick before you start.
Right off the bat.
Well, there goes my plan.
You got early returns, but then you got that dude Aaron Nola. I guess we'll just wait till Rocky on baseball.
Yeah, like I don't know. That's like part of the conversation. Like Aaron Nola's struggles. You know, there's a lot of things to discuss.
Yeah.
It all.
All right.
I mean,
sorry.
it's all part of a plan.
I'm getting ahead.
Yeah.
I'm putting the cart before the horse.
You really are.
My
You
bad.
really are.
All
That's okay. That's okay. I see you've got your golf is dope hat. The
It's golf
green-
season,
the green
baby.
hat.
It's golf.
Masters week. Very
Masters.
exciting for those of us that like to struggle to play a game, sporting activity, whatever you want to call it. Very difficult thing. You ever play any golf?
No.
No.
Not. I don't have the
mental,
mentality
the
for it.
focus.
man. I go crazy out there. A couple shanks and I'm losing it.
All right. Well, this is the aforementioned
Yes.
Finkatron 3000 over here to my right. Fink, love you. Got Rocky over here. Rock, how we doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And then we've got our boy Tommy over here at the bar.
Solo.
Tommy
looking
Solo.
lonely.
Tommy Solo Donuts tonight.
Myself.
Damn, Tom. Sorry. Good heart. Pour one out for him. We think he's coming. We're not sure. And our boy Meech, he had to do something tonight that would actually, generate some income for him. So you can't really hate on that. He's been nice enough to join us for free.
Fuck me.
Immediately, northeast or northeast crime, man. These guys bury each other when one of them isn't here. It's really not fair.
Well, they act like they're copacetic when they're here, but really they're vying.
No, they
for-
don't. They don't even act like they're copacetic when they're here together.
For the most part. I
Yeah,
think they get
I guess
along
so.
swimmingly.
I'm gonna
so-
stab him.
One of the big stories of the week and really of recent history is Fink's rebrand. Fink, I noticed as
Coming
I was,
out of Twitter jail.
as I was putting together a tweet today that you've really changed things up. And I just wanted to take a quick moment to let everybody know that you are now going by at Finkadelphia. At Finkadelphia, that's a great handle, man. You went
Thanks.
from at Eric J Fink, lame, to at Finkadelphia. I think this is a great rebrand.
I came up with that all by myself.
Nice. And then the what do they call the title that you put above it? Is there a name for that?
No, I have no idea.
Twitter handle.
No,
No, my
Rob,
at is
no,
my Twitter
no.
handle.
Yeah,
What's
no.
your
bad.
profile name?
Yeah, which is now Finkatron 3000. There is no Von Bro dude in there, which is surprising. So Finkadelphia, a clown in every sense. I love it. Just a totally, you just,
I thought it was like a good idea. Just get away from my government name as my at. I didn't really like
Yeah,
that.
that's a bad
That's a good
idea.
idea.
Yeah, I thought I
Put
like
your
thought
social
about it. Like
security
sometimes
number.
I get a little crazy on Twitter, and I don't want to be like
yeah.
first thing you search and it says everyday things, and it
Yeah.
says fix
I think-
hoagies, and then they're
Next thing you
like,
know, you got a band of angry people outside your house. And
Well, especially when you're getting
tiki
suspended
torches
for
and
talking smack on Elon or whatever the heck you were doing. Was that what you were doing?
I
Will?
was just talking to.
that doesn't surprise me.
I'm
at
not
all.
trying to get like assassinated or anything.
I love that.
I'm not saying nothing.
I love in the comments. It's just us, talking about this. That's beautiful work. We got us in the comments. If anyone else wants to jump in the comments, please do say what's up.
Oh, it does work. You can comment from the Twitter. Okay.
Can you? All right, good to know. You can comment from Twitter, everybody. Just so you know.
Maybe I'll jump in the comments.
All right. So a lot is going on beginning of the baseball season. Had some happenings online, a lot of Fink related stuff going on, if I'm being honest. And that's the way we like it. I think we get, before I get into that though, I did want to touch briefly RIP to DK's bracket. This weekend, I was listening to WIP and she was on with Rob Ellis. And they were talking about the fact that her bracket was like 99.3% correct.
Somebody was peacocking a little early.
Yeah, she was peacocking hard.
She had
and,
the feathers out there. She was talking shit.
Yeah, my son had Duke as well, and he was going to win if Duke won. And I watched. He was literally, how like kids, they don't really understand that's just the way things happen. And when Houston came back in that game, he was like, what the hell? He thought he already was counting the money. You know what I mean?
That was a wild ending, man.
That was
Holy
pretty
shit.
I think
bad.
Duke collapsed.
Yeah.
More so than Houston came back.
That's
I think
true.
Duke folded.
That's absolutely
Getting
true.
a shot
So-
off at the end is just absolutely
Two possessions.
insane.
Last two
Like, come on.
possessions.
Yeah,
Same kid. I felt horrible for that kid, man. He dribbled it off his knee, and then he got caught in the air on the last possession. Never even got a shot off.
Actually,
Yeah, you got to shoot that ball, man. Fuck that.
you have to
wait,
get.
You got to shoot that
real
fucking
quick,
ball.
we saw that in 2 games. I think there was another game where that happened. Here's my question to you guys. If you have not dribbled yet, okay, hear me out. You have not dribbled, you catch the ball,
Mhm.
you jump up to shoot it, okay? And then, you realize someone's going to block your shot, and then you throw it down on the ground. Why is that a travel?
Because you're in the air. You left your feet.
Because you left the ground. Both feet left the ground.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I fully understand it.
I don't know. There's some weird rules in basketball. Like I learned a rule in basketball just playing in the league that, like say you're playing hoops, pick up with your homies, and you take a shot, right? Shoot a straight up fucking air ball, right? And then you're the person that catches the air ball.
Mhm.
Like people usually call that a travel
That's
or
good.
whatever.
That's
You
good.
can do that.
You can
You
absolutely.
can
do
absolutely do that because your intention is shooting the ball. Doesn't matter if you hit the rim, backward, or anything. You can still be the first person.
I've
to
shot
touch it.
enough air balls to figure that, to have that one figured out for me.
I had no idea until I started playing old head basketball at like 43 years old that is legal. I always thought that was a walk my entire basketball career.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes along with the throwing the oop off the backboard next.
No, 'cause it's the backboard.
Damn it.
I'm talking about a straight up
All right,
air
all right.
ball.
Yeah,
And
whatever.
people are still confused about the rule, even in the league.
That's
You
a
know-
great move. Who's the first? T-Mac was McGrady the first one to do that?
But if you're shooting a free throw, you have to hit rim. You can't just go slam off the backboard. You have to hit the rim.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that self pass off the backboard when you get caught in the middle.
Yeah,
of
you
the-
get caught in the middle of like no man's
Yeah.
land. Yeah.
I've done that a couple times.
You dunked it off the backboard.
in
Nah,
Dean's,
nah.
in Dean's bedroom.
No, just toss up, catch it, and shoot like an off balance mule kick jumper that doesn't go in.
Yeah, if your kid had one, so I was part of that pool that your son was in,
Mhm,
and the winner receives a whole $500. That's a lot of
mhm,
money
mhm,
for
mhm.
I don't know how old you was. He 10, 12, 13,
He's 12.
12-year-old. What would a 12-year-old do with $500?
I mean, Tom would know the answer to this. He's probably going to look up the newest baseball bat, and get a $300 or $400
And
bat.
I was gonna say, and then he's gonna ask you to pay the difference.
Yeah,
after that
he's going to go
500.
for the bat. Maybe get a new arm sleeve.
Mm.
He also we're going to go into the summer, so he surfs. So
Grab a new
surfboards are pretty
surfboard.
expensive.
Gotcha,
they can help with
gotcha,
that
gotcha.
How
kind of
much
stuff.
you taking off top?
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm
100?
thinking.
Truth be told, I would have just taken the buy-in. You know what I mean? I would have taken the buy-in back.
Mm.
But
Here he is.
the truth is,
So there's no risk involved from his standpoint. He's
No
dad's,
risk.
Dad's paying for
No
the
risk.
buy-in.
yeah,
he just
no
gets the
risk
winnings.
at all whatsoever. So
Dang.
yeah,
There
that's
he
how
is.
my dad used to do that when I was young. He would go to the casino and he'd be like, "If I win tonight," and he would win money and he would give me money, but I had nothing, no skin in the game. It was great.
Dang.
Best thing.
Nice.
It was the best thing going. I also learned as I went to put in a bet on March Madness that you cannot bet player props on college games. Now, interestingly, I did talk to our gambling
You can
expert.
in New Jersey.
Okay. Well, I talked to Meech, and Meech was like, "Well, you can in New Jersey." He's like, "I've done that before."
Yeah.
So
But then he said you also can't gamble on players in Jersey.
no,
Correct.
Oh, you
It's
can't.
cool, like Rutgers and stuff. You
Yeah.
can't, or if they're playing the game in Jersey.
Yeah.
That is strange.
That
That's
is
just
wild.
a strange situation. Yeah. So NCAA is over. We got
our
no. I
okay.
mean,
He's got some
there's a guy in the
soup.
building eating soup in a suit.
He's in a
So,
suit and he's eating soup.
NFL agent.
We'll get to that. We will get to
And
that.
he's got hard bottoms on, looks like. He's got hard bottoms on thing.
Got some sort. I mean, he's all dressed up.
Hey, they're hard
Anyway,
bottoms.
no one can see that. So, yeah. So a lot of Fink related activity.
I don't like that one.
Most notably, the resurfacing of the worst mascot in sports, and I'm sure there's some pretty bad ones, but Blooper from Atlanta. It all started actually, Fink. You got to kind of tell me how this went. It all started with Barstool, right? Can you speak to me on how Blooper became part of the media landscape again, even though he's the worst ever?
I got caught into it late. I just seen I think Big Cat called for his death, but I mean,
You gave it to him.
yeah.
How'd that start with you in the first place?
Imitation is the flattery
fondest.
Sincerest form.
There we go.
How'd this start?
I had like part of the words there, it just wasn't all there.
How did it
Word
start with you though?
sincere
Like
thing.
originally,
Wait, hold
back
on.
in
Here we go.
football season.
Here's the tweet here
We were
from
playing.
our
We were playing
friend.
the Braves.
All right, hold on. I got all that. Here's our friend KTO,
Hold up,
who was
KTO,
quick,
baby.
and I have a lot of respect for anyone online who is giving us credit where credit is due and giving Fink credit really. But she was quick to point out to Big Cat that Fink and the Pigeons were the first ones to attempt to kill Blooper. We
You mean
killed him
attempt?
emotionally. And again, I'm taking credit
He
for
came
you.
back from the dead.
You really did this.
And then Ian and them grilled them.
But look at this. She put together this, she's got the video, the photos in there. She's got all sorts of proof. Yeah, you guys.
Damn, who did this?
KDO.
KDO. Who's KDO? Anybody know?
She's
That's
a
KDO.
friend,
Friend of the
on
pod.
Twitter.
All right,
Yeah.
shout out KDO.
Shout out to KDO. And this all
You're a real
started.
one.
Okay, this all started a couple years ago, October of 2023. And I actually have the video evidence of this incident, which I will pull up now and see if it works. Here we go.
This big idiot on Twitter, the Atlanta Braves mascot, goes by Blooper, tweeted out something that said like one more day. So I quote tweeted it and it was like till your death because I want him to die, obviously. And he decided it was a good idea to quote tweet me and talk about Philly fans.
What a bad move.
That's the dumbest thing you could ever do. And I didn't expect Blooper to be like great character and be like, Philly fans are so mean. And then it took a shot at the fanatic.
But
I think he
nobody
had-
could honestly think that Blooper is a legit mascot in any form. Like, it's not even. It looks like when I was a kid, they used to have these squeezy things that like the ears and nose popped out, and it looks like that fucking thing.
There you have it. So that was during the Phil's playoff run, not last year, but the year before when we were taking them on. I remember we were in LA and Meech was checking in with his sunglasses on from LA. Which
Yeah, I was wondering where
amazing.
the
That
hell
was a
he
nice
was.
run.
That's where the whole thing started there, Fink. Now, so Big Cat said that, our peeps got our back, said we did that before, whatever. But then local radio actually took a shot at bloopers, right?
97.5 got involved with the blooper stuff.
Okay,
and
tell us a little bit about what happened there. 'Cause I think it's worth
I got caught into this late. I've been a little bit offline a little bit,
right.
just living in the moment, touching grass. Sorry. And I just seen that like they were quote tweeting Blooper talk. I seen a couple of clips of them talking about Blooper being a knockoff mascot. And I just seen Blooper clap back a little bit today. And I even went, ooh. And what he did was he clapped back against the whole 97.5 station with their ratings. And I was like, damn. I was like, that was not nice by Blooper. And I kind of feel like maybe he like tied the score against us. I feel like he came out swinging hard, and I'm kind of upset by that.
We're gonna have to
one.
cook
That
him
was-
again.
What was that?
We're gonna have to cook him again.
Yeah, let's fuck. Oh,
That's
go
okay.
Again.
Were you about to say let's
go?
what him?
I was gonna say
What are you
let's
talking
fucking
about over
kill
there?
him.
No.
I didn't want to get that crazy. I know.
So
I know
Fink is a
sometimes
little
kids are
worried
watching.
that Blooper managed to kind of successfully
Get a little bit of his lick back, and I don't like that.
Yeah. So the only thing we can possibly do here is to beat them in the playoffs again. So let's see if they can get there. Right now, actually, as I look over, the bases are loaded and Taiwan is on the mound.
Two outs.
Two
Two
outs,
outs. All we know.
two outs.
All we need is one out. It's fine.
We're gonna be
Everything's
fine.
Jesse, can I ask Eric an important question?
No, can you introduce
We
yourself,
welcome-
please?
Making me look like a slouch.
Wait,
by the way.
no. This is gonna be. We're gonna do
Objection. Leading
on.
the witness.
no because of Mark's attire. We're gonna treat
Oh, he got
this,
him out of. He got him out of there. He
Taiwan
got him
got it.
out of there.
All right.
Fucking Phil's.
We're gonna
baby.
treat this like a corporate meeting. So we've already gone around the room, Mark. When someone comes in late, we've already gone around the room, and everybody has, said a little bit about themselves. So since you just got here, Mark, why don't you make sure everybody knows, who you are? Thank you.
My name is Mark Goodhart.
Tell us a fun fact about yourself, Mark Goodhart.
So I tonight was the guy when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, and I used to say, why is that stiff showing up coaching my little league team in a suit? I was that guy tonight.
You coached in a suit?
Hey, look, he's
I
got
did.
the mud on these
Oh,
nice
no.
loafers.
Damn, coach.
Although I will say it's like a nod to the coaches of yesteryear. Although
Connie Mack.
Well, in baseball that wasn't a thing. In basketball, obviously that was a thing.
Connie Mack used to wear a suit in the dugout.
Get out of here. Is that
Yeah,
true?
for the Philadelphia A's.
Well, a lot of people debate the merit of coaches wearing uniforms that have numbers, right? Don't their uniforms have numbers?
Yes.
Okay. So
I actually think it would be hilarious. The baseball managers wear the uniforms. Wouldn't it be great if like the football coaches and the basketball coaches wore the uniform?
I mean, the football coaches, yes, absolutely. Although I'm thinking about Sirianni, I don't think it would be a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think putting Sirianni in a helmet and some shoulder pads is a good idea. He might run out there and tackle
I've seen
somebody.
we've seen his highlights.
Yeah, he's
his highlights been reposted.
Jeff
a
Van
lot.
Gundy in some short shorts. What do you think of that?
It's kind of hot.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
No, I did have an important question for Eric with
Objection.
the blooper situation.
Okay.
Okay.
We will
Can
sustain.
you just say that all
I-
night? I'll just start laughing.
I could be a lawyer, huh?
Pretty much.
What is a quote tweet?
Oh, boy.
Can you explain that for the masses?
boy. Oh boy.
So,
All right, Fink.
Should we show him?
Yeah, let's bring it. I know.
Oh.
Do you get to review the video?
Well, yeah. Here, wait.
So
no,
when
hold
you
on,
have a
here,
tweet,
Okay.
that's a quote tweet.
Yeah, that's a quote tweet. So you can explain
So-
based on this.
That's part of my take tweet on the bottom, and KDO quote tweeted it with everything she put on top.
Yeah.
So you're basically putting your next conversation on top of the ongoing conversation.
As
Right.
opposed to just a straight retweet, which is just retweeting the existing tweet.
Yeah, you're
quote
putting your
tweet is
commentary
adding-
onto.
right.
By the way,
tweet.
Raj is leaning in so that he can also get this information.
Does that take like
I'm still
graphic
lost.
design?
No.
No.
Well, this
Oh, my Lord.
specific one,
That's just a video. She just added a video and 2 photos.
but you don't have to do that to quote tweet. You
It's
can
basically
just quote
simple,
tweet.
dude. It's like if you want to just
Yo,
put
what
whatever.
up, boomer?
Yes, if you want to just put whatever someone else said and show everyone what that you just put. But if you want to say something about it, then you quote tweet it. You
There's
got
a
me?
button for that.
Yes.
There's a button for that. Oh my.
I'm gonna show.
I'm in the same. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
like,
Well,
yeah,
luckily
yeah.
he's a professional. You can see that from his attire, and he's a great coach.
That's why I'm.
And he lives in the
Mark's
real
a
world.
real
He
one.
touches
Yeah, he
grass.
touches grass, right? He's a real
He's a
one.
grass toucher.
I was like, wait, quote tweet? What are you talking
Amazing. All right.
I'm still confused on the whole quote tweet. Quote tweet.
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
Whatever.
Well, that's okay. Rock's
Yeah, I'm good.
burner.
I'm good.
You're fine. If you need Rock on Twitter, he's at Rock.
Just call my cell phone.
Yeah, Rock's
215-837.
Just give it out.
Figure out the rest.
Give it out. All right. So early returns on the Phils. We got a couple series under our belt. So far, we haven't lost one. We'll see tonight. That'll determine if that streak continues, at least in terms of our ability to win this series after last night. I will say was at the Dodgers game on Sunday, and I was like super geeked up for that series. I know people were debating whether it was, whether you could take too much away from it because it's the beginning of the year, but the Dodgers were doing so well coming in, and the fact that we took 2 out of 3 definitely said something to me in terms of the team's ability to compete. And one thing that I've got to note specifically, and everyone saw this, it's not like this is some great conclusion, but it's Glass now, right? The pitcher, Tyler Glass now.
The guy
Am I
that was
getting that right?
crying in the
Yeah.
rain.
I've never seen a meltdown.
Glasnow.
I've never seen a meltdown like this guy had.
Not
I
since
mean,
Alec Boehm.
as it started like raining, the guy just came undone. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kike Hernandez called time when he was like about to pitch, and he didn't understand why that happened, and he got so upset, and he just completely folded under the pressure. And then when he got taken out, that's when Castellanos hit the grand slam. But it just made me think, this is a team full of all these, I don't want to call them prima donnas, but these are the, best players in the game, and they're everyone, kind of does everything for them, and they get everything they want. And
Bunch
the
of divas.
idea of having them play here in October in cold,
Yeah,
inclement
he didn't do
weather.
himself any favors. That we're gonna bury him when they come back in October. I can promise you that.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This wasn't even in terms of our the crowd's level of involvement. You guys know there's a big difference between the second series at home and the playoffs. So, I felt like it only just made us more prepared to play them. It proved that we can compete with them. The fact that Ohtani went 1 for 11 during that game on Sunday, we struck out Ohtani and Betts, I think 3 times.
Overrated.
And
which
Ohtani
is-
did not look good at the plate either.
Yeah.
Like he was guessing, doubting himself. He didn't look good.
He totally did. And it proved to me for sure that we have the capability to play with those guys. Now, are those 2 guys going to struggle like that no, that's not going to happen. That was probably a bit of an anomaly. But it made me feel like for sure we have the ability to contend with some of the best teams out there. Obviously, everyone thinks the Dodgers are the best team, at least in the NL, if not in the entire league. But as I was departing the game and, feeling like, man, 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. Okay, cool. I'm feeling good. It did occur to me that as dangerous as their lineup was, they didn't have Freddie Freeman in it. And
Freddie,
when you put Freddie Freeman in the lineup, it just bumps everyone else down. And I'm so frightened. Like I was frightened going up against Ohtani and Betts, and to put Freddie in there. You guys saw what he did in the World Series last year. I just think that's going to be very, very difficult. Not to say that we can't do it, but it just put a bit of a grain of salt in
it's a reality check for
it was a grain of salt. But what did you guys think coming out of the
I'm
series?
the total opposite. I've never felt better. Like that's serious, shocking. Like your whole thing is like everyone's talking about the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They come into your home stadium and you take 2 out of 3 out of them. And I understand the Freddie Freeman thing, but everything looked good.
Okay.
And like the Phillies are swinging at their lowest balls. They're walking.
Yeah.
They're manufacturing runs. It wasn't all just long ball, home run, relying upon that. They were good base running, hit and run, like the little stuff that they haven't done in the past few years.
Okay.
Tell them, Tom. Tell them. We're feeling good,
I just
man.
want to clarify something. You're making it sound like I just said I don't think they can contend. It's not a big deal.
All I heard from you was you say the Phillies have no shot in October.
I told you.
Jesse's scared. That's
No. I told you that I thought it was a very big deal, and it proved to me that we can absolutely compete with them. But I was, instead of getting like super high, I was thinking to myself, well, with Freddie in there, it's going to be different. So what I'm telling you is I was very much encouraged by it. If they had kicked our ass all over the field, the sky would be falling for sure. That didn't happen. We took 2 out of 3. We've won the first 3 series to start the season. A lot of reasons to be incredibly optimistic. But the question is, and this is part of the episode, subtext, whatever. We start absolutely strong, but the question is, are there issues below the surface that we need to be worried about? It sounds like, and this is why I want to take your temperature, Fink, because if I recall, you guys remember last year, I think we did the exact same thing. The Phils started off incredibly strong, and we were in here talking about things we were worried about, and Fink was like, don't even worry about it. Phils are great. It's going to be great. And, look, you were right.
We won the NL East.
Yeah,
made it to the playoffs.
Look, you were right in that they were like the best team in baseball the whole year. But
why would the MLB give that long bye to teams that happened to us? That didn't happen last year, right? No. Just making things up.
All I know is this. You were the guy. And by the way, on the Eagles front, you called like a 16-2 season or
16-1.
16-1 season.
And I was the closest.
Yeah, you've been spot on with your homeristic takes. They've been very good. But the thing is, we're no longer concerned about winning the regular season. We saw in the last couple of years what happened in the playoffs, and we're projecting to that point. That makes sense to you, right?
So, here's the other thing. So, what do you feel like is a weakness for the Phils right now?
I mean,
bullpen.
I was just going to say, and this is my major hangup. You look at a bullpen last year that was spectacular, and then the playoffs absolutely crumbled. They got rid of Hoffman. They brought in Romano. I don't even have to say how much of a disaster that looks like.
Let's just on one thing I found out Romano.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in Toronto in 1993. That's just bad vibes right there. You can't have him on a team. Like I can't trust that guy ever.
Damn.
I can't trust that guy ever again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's scary.
That's
Get
relevant information.
No,
I'm lost. I'm lost there.
All right, just hang on for a
we
second.
lost the 93 World Series.
Oh,
Toronto
right.
Joe Carter.
Yeah,
Joe Carter.
I remember that. Actually.
Woo.
But my issue is twofold.
That was the Drake versus Meek Mill cover, right? When Drake was coming at Meek, put that picture of that dude. All right, never mind. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, we've got.
I thought Fink was with me on that.
I wasn't paying
Who is
attention at
this?
that time.
Maxie
All right.
is better than you, pal. Says Romano is Canadian, Lil Dicky.
That's the Twitter.
Canadian Lil Dicky.
We're getting the Twitter stuff in.
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree
is
with you,
that you?
man.
What? No,
No, that's not you.
no. I figured out the Twitter comments.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So here's what I'm saying though.
He looks like Little Dicky, and he's Canadian.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So when it comes to the bullpen, no, hear me out.
All right, sorry.
The guys that we lost Hoffman, then the guys that are coming back, Kerkering has always, and this continues to be the case, when he comes in the game, I just have this feeling that, with him, it's either like the nastiest pitch in the world or it's a pitch that they're definitely going to hit. And I just do not have confidence. I feel bad because, I wanted him to be, when he came up, he throws all this weird stuff and he's, got these crazy pitches. But, he has so many times come into games and not been able to execute. And that's a problem. Strom has not looked like himself. Like he seems to somehow always give up the big hit now. And I'm just worried the guys that we still have, like we're relying on Alvarado all of a sudden. And like, he was shaky as hell. And then you throw in Romano, which is a clear downgrade from Hoffman. And, we saw a couple years ago when we had Kimbrel, right? That was different because we were going in the playoffs knowing like that was going to be a problem. Last year, we thought that was a strength of the team and it didn't work out. I just feel like we've taken a step back there. You can't argue that we haven't taken a step back.
I was feeling good until you just shit. Damn.
Well, I'm just spitting facts, Mark.
My worry is with you that we've gotten rid of some guys in the bullpen. Were they the end all be all? No, but we've taken a step back there. And now we are relying on Alvarado even more. And I like him. He's a great relief pitcher. But is he really going to be a closer in baseball the entire season and then stay strong through the playoffs? That seems very unlikely.
They're going to have to make a move at some point before. I mean, obviously we're 3 weeks into the season, so we're not near there, but obviously this is the most glaring hole.
The problem is I think they need like 2 or 3 moves in the bullpen. Now, do you
Well,
think there's any chance that
this is my prediction?
Do you think Painter rises through the minors and comes up and is a reliever?
I think Painter comes up. Suarez gets moved to the bullpen. Painter gets moved into as a 5th man, and then you get a little bit of bullpen help around the All-Star break. You got 2 new arms in there. You got our boy Crawford coming up in AAA right now too.
Crawford.
He's slashing hard.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that
like Crawford.
325, a
Likes
couple
Crawford.
triples. Ooh.
Is that Jamal Crawford?
So Carl Crawford.
Interesting point,
That's
though.
his dad.
Interesting
He's
point.
got the nasty hezzy.
We know that the starting pitching is very strong. We know that.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to Nola, but there's not room for both Ranger and Painter. Now Suarez has come out of the pen, but he did that in the playoffs. Am I getting this right, or did he do that in the regular season as well? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I
remember
remember just
him
in the playoffs.
Coming out of the pen in the playoffs. How about that shit?
It was in the playoffs because we went to the shorter rotation,
Mhm.
right? And I'm struggling to think about how we had so many better guys than him that he would come. Well, I guess it was just 'cause we
Ranger
did-
doesn't have the arm to go full season pitching. Like when he gets around like 150 innings pitch, he starts to break down or slow down. I rather, like I said, you can just move him to the bullpen, have a super bullpen arm, something like that. If Painter's ready. I'm just making this shit up. I don't know what they're gonna do, but that's what I want to see happen. Like, would you not want to see? I want to see Painter this year. I think that we're going to see him this year.
Wait, this is really good. Fink told Meech on our text thread that he needs to like retweet our link, and Mark says or quote tweet. That is too good. Yeah, I mean, all in all, you feel good, but after a season of pretty much, I mean, granted, there was that awful stretch last year where they looked like they completely forgot how to play, but they still crushed it for the most part. After that experience, you are kind of looking at it, or is it fool's gold? And unfortunately, you're gonna be looking at it like the whole season.
I mean, the way you look at it right now is you don't know shit. It's how many? What are they? 9 games in? Something like that. 10 games in? 7-3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck knows, man? Baseball's 100 and what?
I know, but Rock,
games?
are we supposed to show up and be like, who knows?
I'm
See you later.
I'm trying to think about how
What do
Meech
you
would think.
think
I'm
this
trying to think how Meech would
podcast
think right
is
now.
about?
Meech would be like, "Who the fuck knows? Don't worry about it right now. Who cares?
No.
Just fucking be
No.
along
Well,
for
the
the
thing
ride."
is that the team ran it basically almost back, kind of not.
Yeah.
So like what you're looking for, and in the first few games, you see what the same problems are, like the bullpen. They changed the swinging at the strikes. They're taking more walks.
Mhm.
than
They're
ever.
the number 1 team in MLB with the chase rate.
Yeah,
in terms
like
of
they
not
got better
chasing.
there.
What is the chase rate? For the
Not
Not
swinging
chasing
at bad
strikes.
pitches.
Swinging at bad pitches.
So you want to be number 1 or you want to be last?
You want to be
You're gonna be
number 1
last.
at not swinging at bad
All right,
pitches.
got it,
We
got it.
were, if we weren't last, we were certainly last among playoff teams last year, and we had guys swinging at all kinds of stuff.
and that's still
And
the
so
case.
far, we're number 1. Now it's early, but
okay.
Right. So everyone said we have to come back and change our approach to the plate. We can't swing at a bunch of bad pitches. They're doing that, and we're having success. But the concern now, in my opinion, is, even if the offense puts us in a good position, if the bullpen can't hold it down,
still having some
good is
trouble.
that?
So far they're 7-3, man. There's nothing to worry about. You're good.
It's just shit chat. We're
This
up here yapping.
This
with the
isn't
boys,
fair,
man.
though.
That's what we're doing.
William that says the Phil's pitching sucks. It's not true. It's not true. Not across the board. Obviously, the bullpen is sus, it seems like. But TBD.
While Rock's teeing off, do we have
we want Rocky on baseball?
Do we have Rocky on baseball tonight?
Rocky on baseball.
We do,
Oh.
but I want to first make sure that we exhaust the legitimate conversation, okay? And I have a few more points. First of all, and respectfully, I love Rocky on baseball, and we didn't get to it last week, so we're going to get to it. I promise.
Twice as nice.
I promise you this. But
I just rolled over
two
some of the
more
notes.
things. Listen, two more things that give me a little bit of pause. The Bohm situation. My question to you guys is this. Everybody was talking about him being like sulking a lot, being immature and getting upset. And now they're saying that's back. And I just wanted to check with you guys. Got to know, was there a situation where it became known that he was acting like that again? Because I didn't see that. Did he do anything? Or are people just like making that conclusion? Mark, you're shaking your head.
I'm shaking my head because I have no idea either. I've been hearing that chatter, and I was like, did I miss something?
Like, there's no.
Was there a big incident?
Right.
Well, that's my point. I haven't seen anything where he was doing that yet. I hear people talking like he's doing it again, and I'm like, are there murmurs coming out of the clubhouse? He's
sounds like somebody made that up with a quote tweet.
Again, I haven't been on the internet as much. I've been out touching grass, but I did hear there was 2 bat slam incidents, and then I think there's maybe one where he like almost caught himself, like about to do it. So I could be making these things. I could be making a lot of shit.
That's part of the chase rate. It was a check swing.
But I'm telling you, when I'm scrolling on Twitter, I see things and they just register, and that came back up. I think there was like 2 bat slams.
I think it's too early. I think we're reaching. We need to allow.
I think
some
he
time.
needs
If
to
we're
grow
6
the
weeks,
hell
if
up,
we're
Tom.
a third of the way through the season, that's different. He's came out of the gate. He was an all-star. Was a monster the first half of the year.
Tom, that's a nice human robot hat, by the way. Shout out to human robot.
Jake. Thank you, Jake.
Shout out to our boy Jake.
I could use one of those. I'm a little chilly tonight.
That's beautiful. Yeah, our bald heads just freaking
size large. Jake.
They're so
Love
white.
free
in
merch.
It's
Right
not
here.
a good look for us at
In case
all.
anyone's watching, want to give me free merch.
Free merch for the.
I'll wear it.
There you go.
With
all
no
right.
pants on.
So, but you got to think the Phillies have to be hoping that Bohm gets hot. I got to imagine they're going to try to put him in some sort of package and try to get an arm at some point before the trade deadline. Mark, I just feel like you're an expert now because of the suit. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Okay, cool.
Well, I will say,
I concur.
if Sosa keeps it up, the biggest disappointment from last night's game is that catch he made in left field was legit off the charts. I mean, the ball was halfway over the fence and down. He caught it like 5 feet below the fence on the other side in left field. But really, he's been hitting well. He's been a good utility guy. They obviously are trying to find ways to get him in the lineup. So if he stays legitimate as an everyday player, it gives them a lot of flexibility with a trade.
Yeah. And Aiden Miller is a third baseman, right? Am I getting this right? Am I getting that name right? I think I know my
Aiden
ball.
I'm buying a lot of stock.
I know my ball. But maybe it's too soon for him. But either way, you got guys in the pipeline.
The Aidens are already old enough to play MLB baseball. I feel like there's going to be an onslaught of Aidens in the next few years.
A lot of Aidens. Yeah.
I have another Phillies thought before we get to the 2 volumes of Rocky on Baseball condensed into one. I was watching the game last night, and that ball that Schwarber hit into right center field, the home run, was absolutely demolished. And he had a great game last night at the plate, obviously. And I had this thought, and I don't know that this is earth-shattering or not, but I always thought of Kyle Schwarber as like a nice little addition to the Phillies, that he's like been on the team for, a year or two. I started thinking about his career with the Phillies, and he's been on the team for a while. And am I crazy to say that he is going to go down as like an all-time Philadelphia Philly, like could be Wall of Fame-esque? I mean, the guy is putting up numbers, even though it's in this weird era of baseball where you can hit 210 and still be a stud, but he is just murdering the ball.
From
any
the casual baseball fan,
Casual.
I can't remember anybody, and I'm sure I'm terribly wrong here, but I don't know anybody who hits the ball on the Phillies better than Schwarber, other than, from my recollection, is what's my man's name from
Mike
Ryan
Schmidt.
Howard. Ryan Howard
Oh,
smacking
Ryan
the ball
Howard.
like that. Other than that, I don't remember anybody hitting home runs like this for the Phillies. Like, who else?
Well,
Is there anybody?
And the Phillies are going to have a
Do you
decision
think
to
he
make.
needs to win it to get on the wall?
I was thinking that the World Series is what's missing, but that when we acquired him, we thought maybe he'd be here for a year or two. That maybe he was even on the downswing of his career. You know, I always thought of him as a Chicago Cub, and now you almost think of him more as a Philadelphia Philly.
It's also
Seems
the
like
way
he's
he
been here
does it
forever.
too, like because he hits the ball so freaking hard, and then the way he kind of just like leans out of the box, he like smacks the shit out of it, and then just leans out and starts running.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because he's right at that. A lot of these guys are right at that point where you're like, can they really keep this up? It feels like he's been doing it for so long. JT, you know, these guys, some of them are showing more signs of age than others. By the way, JT's still the best defensive catcher in baseball. His early season. I mean, I don't know. Can you lose? You lose your arm. I don't know, but he certainly hasn't lost his yet. By the way,
I don't get why teams continue to run on
yeah,
him.
that was
Makes no
that was so awesome to the way that went down in the Dodger game. But getting back to the Schwarber point, I believe he is in the last year of his deal, right? And there was discussion about whether they were going to give him a contract, and puts him in a tough spot. You know, the Phillies, that is, because you know he's playing so well, but he's going to want, especially if he keeps it up, he's going to want multiple years, and they're just going to have to make a decision. That's kind of tough decision you have to make. I think, honestly, I don't want to say he's underrated because it's not like anyone doesn't acknowledge like how great he is, but he has become just, you know, an awesome guy to watch.
How old is that dude?
It's a good question. Who can hit it up? Check it
I
out.
bet he's 33, 34. But I'm with you, Jesse. And that was sort of where the thought came from. Like, man, have we been underrating him? And underrated, as you said, may not be the word, but it's time to appreciate him more because that guy is a baller. He goes out. I mean, granted, he
Wait, how
doesn't
is
play
he
the
not
field very much, but
how's
he's
he
out
not
in the lineup
appreciated?
every
32
day.
will be 33
Well,
next year.
How's he not
I
appreciated?
don't think I don't think he's not appreciated. Obviously Harper has been like the main guy that everyone talks about, and then the young guys coming up. But no, everyone knows how good he is. I think we're just taking a moment to kind of speak to it. So yeah, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about, you know, in addition to the Bohm thing, I think the other thing that we've talked about many times over the years is the Nola scenario. And you know, Nola is a great example of a guy who you would think would have already started to really tail off in his career, but he's always had these games where he's given up these homers. You know, he kind of like finds it every year, no matter if he struggles a little bit. And that's the question I got to ask for you guys. I mean, we got Ranger and Painter potentially coming in. You got Sanchez, who's looking, you know, incredible. Where does Nola fit into this? Are we going to get to the point where if he keeps this up, they got to do something different? How we feel about Nola these days? Does he have, by the way, has he achieved? I don't think this is the case at all, but, you know, not to, like, he can't be criticized because he's been doing it long enough. He's got playoff, you know, success. Or are we thinking, you know, I feel like if Meach was here, he would bury Nola right now.
I think he should leave.
You think he should leave?
Yeah, I think he should go.
He should just say,
I think
I'm
he
out
should.
of here.
I think.
I feel like
I think he should've left.
Iguodala is kind of like a good comp for him because he was the number one on a team and he maybe wasn't ready to wear the crown. And because we were so bad when he came up, that so much was placed upon
but
him. And that's just not who he is.
The biggest difference there, then it would be like Aaron Nola goes somewhere else and becomes like the father figure and wins championships. I don't see that happening. I think
If that happens, so be it.
Yeah.
Just leave.
It's going to be interesting though with these other guys getting healthy, Painter coming up. You know, if Nola keeps, you know, being an automatic L, we're going to see. And it's funny because so many times throughout his career, when you see these games where he's giving up these bombs, you're like, you know, he can't go on like this, but then he always redeems himself. So,
But Sanchez gave up 4 runs in his last game, and he kind of gets a little. No one say anything about that start.
yeah, I just think it's different because he's coming up. You know, he's improved, right? He's adding velocity. Like everyone thinks he's going forward, whereas Nola.
That's also me not being a Nola apologist. I don't
Are
want.
you-
I don't
are
want to
you-
be. No, I do not want to be
you're not?
labeled that.
You're not.
He's a player on my team.
That's it.
Yeah, he's a guy on our
Huh.
team. Don't love him, don't hate him. He goes out there, does his thing. Can't hate on that.
Well, look, to Rocky's point, who knows? We just got to keep watching. So every week
should
we'll
leave.
come back with another
He should
Phillies
leave.
discussion about what we learned in the past week, and we'll inch our way forward, and then ultimately probably get our
Baseball
hearts broken
season is
again.
just too goddamn long, man. Cut
Well,
this
I
shit
think
in
this
half.
is a great segue because like that's got to be part of what you have lined up for.
No,
Rocky on baseball.
Rocky.
that was not part of what I had lined up, but that should be. That's fuck cutting it in half. Cut it.
Ooh,
Cut it in a.
81. How
No,
many
let's
games?
cut
You want,
it-
40?
Yeah, let's get about 40 baseball games.
ridiculous.
that's like a good.
And you just kill any
Rock, you're losing
legitimacy
your
you may have
credibility
had.
here.
Man, fuck,
man.
Damn
it's
it.
just too much, man. It's too much. There's no one wants to see that every
I
night.
agree
Anyway,
that it's long, but
it
go
is.
ahead.
It's just too much. Like that game, they won a series against the best team in the league, right?
Just
And
call it.
End of the day means absolutely fucking nothing. Bottom line, means nothing.
Wow.
Anyway,
Hear that, Fink?
I'm gonna reduce this because
Means a lot to me, Rock.
you guys,
Okay.
you guys talked a lot about what I was going to talk about. Anyway, the Phillies.
He's checking his notes.
I'm going through the notes. First place, National League East.
That is good.
They won.
This is some high level
They
analysis.
started out winning their first 3 series. Right? They lost the first game of their 4th series last night to the Braves. Right?
Yep.
But they're gonna. So that means they're gonna win these next 2 games.
That's how it
That's
means.
logic. That's logic. Right?
It's logical.
Anyway, and when they're done with them, they're going over to St. Louis to play the Cards. They're going to blow them out. They're going to win that series 3-0.
Straight up.
Sweep 'em.
Wow.
3-0.
Thanks. This sounds like you.
Rocky on baseball calling for the sweet Rock.
Break out
Homer
the
Rocky's
broom.
back.
He's calling for a sweep in the
Calling for a
next series.
Call for a sweep in the next series. 3-0 against the bum ass Cardinals, right? Was it Pujols? Was he a Cardinal?
They
Pujols?
still make him?
Albert
still-
Pujols?
Is he still there?
Nah.
Yes. He's playing,
All right.
I think,
He
first
retired 3 years
They
ago.
probably
All
still
right.
have a Molina
See,
catch him somewhere,
exactly.
though.
Pujols ain't there anymore. Sweep. Then they come back
Chicken
home.
pollos.
Puyos.
Anyway.
Anyway, then they come back home and they've got the San Francisco Giants
Okay.
for
Is
the
that a
first
sweep?
4-game series of the
Look at
year.
this.
Look at me.
Ooh.
Giants are good.
This guy really went through the
So-
schedule.
That's my first question, right? What does the 4-game series mean? Like, why is there like is that like they're going to play the Giants once this year and that's it, or like
Okay. You actually raise an interesting
That's a
point.
good
By the way, I'm
question.
so proud of you that you went through the schedule. You really looked into all this.
because I
and-
gotta tell you about what's coming up at the Giants series.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
All right, but
The
I actually-
15th.
I don't know the answer to that. And since they changed all, the interleague play, they've changed it around so many times. I don't actually know the answer, but I assume it's still the case that you play every team an equal amount of games, right? But if you play them, I was assuming like we played the Dodgers 3 times at home, we play them 3 times at their place, and that's it. But if we play the Giants 4 times at home, who's got an answer to this? Rocky on Baseball posing a question. I'm sure there's plenty of people who know the answer to this right off the bat. I just happen
Wait,
to
is
not.
that Rasheed Wallace?
That's definitely Rasheed Wallace.
What a
Look,
fucking bum. dude.
Chiefs fan.
Whoa.
Chiefs fan. Call
Which is
him
the
out.
Craziest
Phillies
thing.
fan.
Fraud.
Phillies fan, Chiefs fan.
Can't.
I love
From
Sheed.
here,
I love
from
Sheed. I
here.
can't even. I
From
can't
here.
even. I can't
Okay,
even
okay. Can anyone
No,
answer the
sorry.
question though?
Aaron Bummer.
Nobody knows the answer. Clearly,
All right.
nobody knows the answer.
We'll
All right,
have
we'll
to figure that
continue
out.
on.
Because
Continue
it'd be
on.
weird to me that we play them 4 times at home and then only.
Go
ahead.
Anyway, so a lot of the questions I had were about these players that you guys were talking about, right?
Right.
But I need some insight on a couple of these other guys that I've been seeing.
Mhm.
Jesus Luzardo.
Ooh.
Yes,
Is this guy
Stud.
legit? Or
Yeah.
what's his deal?
definitely
It's my
legit. I think
Beast mode.
he was
He
very.
came from the Marlins, so you know he's going to be great because the Marlins, if they know how to do anything, it's give up on talent. So
Okay.
thank you, Marlins.
So now is he? I heard a lot of Nola, Sanchez, Alvarado. I haven't heard anything about Luzardo.
Okay, and you're right, but that's mostly because we talked about things that we're worried about.
We
We,
were
haven't talked
complaining.
about the really good things.
Okay.
Luzardo, what, 2 starts so far?
Yeah, he's still
Okay,
out.
looked great. He was a very promising young player, but had some injury issues, and so the Marlins kind of gave
correct.
up on him. We signed him. He's healthy. He feels good, and he's super psyched to be on the Phillies, and he looks great.
So why isn't he ahead of Nola?
Well, I mean, look, this goes back to the fact that we have a bit of a historical precedent here in that
This is where I'm going with the baseball shit.
understood, but Nola has been the number 2 guy. And
Don't you want to put your best players forward?
okay, yes, but Rock, you got to understand, we've only seen 2 games of Luzardo. Okay?
All right, well, we've seen
And
2
that's
games of
my
Nola
point.
and they fucking stunk.
I understand, and that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point, knowing you have Suarez coming back, you have Painter potentially coming back, like, how are we going to?
Can you drop
handle all that?
Luzardo into the bullpen and help out the bullpen?
No.
Well, I mean, he's pitching so well
Fink's
right
looking
now.
disgusted in the
He's
face.
pitching-
too well.
Rock, the other benefit of the 162 game schedule that you want to do away with is you have plenty of time to evaluate your pitching staff. And then when the playoffs start, if there's a compelling case for Luzardo to maybe bump up into the 2 slot in the playoffs,
Damn, we got to wait till the
Wheeler,
playoffs though.
you
for
have
that?
the opportunity to do that.
We have to wait until the playoffs for this,
Yeah.
which is clearly
And all the pitchers pitch so much that most of them or a lot of them get injured and aren't even really useful by the time you get to the playoffs. It is great how long
They're
the
not
baseball
pitching as much as they used to.
so.
Before they used to be 5 days.
Is he clearly the second best pitcher on the team right now in terms of like?
No, because you've got Sanchez, who's quite capable and has pitched reasonably well. Nola in the 2 slot has not done well, but those 2 guys. Then again, your 5th starter is Taiwan, which, by the way, he hasn't given up any runs tonight, so that's going to.
And
be
our number 1 got shelled last night. So.
Yeah. So I mean, look.
Yeah,
it's
that was an off night.
We need more time, but the good news is Luzardo's look great. He's looking like he'll be a great pitcher.
Great
for
question,
the
Rob.
rotation.
Thank you.
Good question.
Max Kepler, fill me in on this guy.
Okay,
He's
German.
large.
He's a German. He
Actually
is,
German.
He is German. We actually talked about him a little bit last week. Remember, he's the guy I said told the crowd to chill out a little bit when we were giving him an ovation for hitting the home run. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember that's
I
why
was thinking about that. Do you think they do that in the Bundesliga when they're going nuts over there? They tell the crowd to chill out.
I don't even know what.
So wait, this
talking
dude's a
about?
pro from Germany. Like he came from Germany to play for the Phillies. I'm
No.
confused there.
No, he's been in
Germany.
major leagues. He had, I think he also
Came
had
from
some,
Cleveland.
I think he
via
had some
Germany.
injury problems as well with his abdomen section or something like that. He's coming back.
Is he
from
legit or
injury.
not? That's what I want to know.
He could be decent.
Looks okay.
He's okay right now. I mean,
He hasn't done much yet.
He had a
if we're being
good spring
honest.
training.
All right,
it
and
was
then-
like a take a flyer, could
All
be
right.
a high risk. I
And
mean, not a high risk, but
High reward.
Yeah.
Low risk.
okay. And then one more I got is Edmundo Sosa.
Oh, yeah,
Stud.
there you go.
Well,
that's what we're
okay.
talking about. The crazy catch look like Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Rocky on baseball should be like it's like the baseball education of rock.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
'Cause I'm lost in the sauce
Sosa
there, bro.
has been I guess not, you wouldn't call him a platoon guy, but he's been a bench player he's capable of playing a bunch of different positions. He's a great fielder.
Mhm.
I think historically has not been a tremendous hitter, which is probably what's kept him out of the everyday starting lineup.
Mm.
But so far this season, every time he has played, he has been hitting tremendously well. He had like a 600 average.
Yeah, I don't know
after-
if my notes are rolling over from last week, but this says he
They
has
are.
a 545 batting average.
Yeah, I
and he's
doubt
hitting every
that's-
game that he's been in. He's
doubt
got a
that's
couple
still the same.
RBIs.
But see, here's the issue, Rock, and this is the next level that you need to,
Yeah.
slowly get your head around. In front of him, we have, Bohm and Stott, who are young guys.
Oh, nah, you can't pull.
Well,
them
that's
out
the
of
thing.
there.
But
People are-
maybe they do become that trade. I think Fink alluded to that earlier. Maybe they become, or you did. They
Got
Right,
it.
trade
but
deadline.
the
Those are
point
guys
is,
that could go.
But Tom, they can't become trade bait if they're in a platoon or they're not playing all the time. They need to go out and show they can play to have actual value. We learned during the offseason, Bohm doesn't have a lot of value. So if he doesn't go out and play well, I really don't think you're going to get much for them. But it's tough because the coach wants those guys to gain confidence. Like Stott, you're going to need Stott. You're not going to be able to just put Stott on the shelf, I don't think. So he needs to gain confidence, but Sosa's red hot. The coach actually said he wishes that they could start 10 guys because Sosa's playing so well.
Got it.
And
Got
we
it.
can swap
Okay,
out
okay.
Crawford.
Thank you
Marsh
for
for
that.
Crawford.
All right, let me-
too.
Rocky,
Rocky,
I have an
Nice,
answer
too,
for
'cause
your
Marsh
first question.
stinks.
We've done some crack research over here. at
Crack
the,
research.
Good Heart Bar that's now not in front of the
The
Good Heart Bar
Heart Bar.
sign. The Phillies will play 13 home games
Mhm.
and 13 away games this year against the National League West, which means they will play a home 4-game series and an away 4-game series. They just happen to draw the Giants for the home 4, and they have an away 4 in Colorado.
Okay.
But they differentiate that based on travel distance.
Okay, but here's my
and
follow-up.
non-division.
Yeah,
opponents.
Here's
Said
my
for-
follow-up, though. Then that means that for certain teams that we play, we don't play an equal amount of games
Yeah,
against them at
exactly.
home and away,
Correct.
which is what I would have assumed. Yes.
No.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for the research over there at the
Good
Good
knowledge.
Heart Bar.
Rock, do we have any good giveaways coming up or promotions coming up?
Yeah.
in the Phillies?
Hold on. I'm just
Oh.
going through my notes. I see Wheeler
bad.
doing Wheeler things. Nola's still a bum.
Wheeler doing Wheeler things. is the
Okay, hold on.
standard.
So when they're coming back, we got the Monday night, the 14th against the Giants. We have, this is a controversial one, probably. We got the Hatfield Phillies Franks BOGO night.
Boo!
Not
Also,
the dollar dog. This
They're
is a
also
BOGO.
gaslighting us with the damn commercial where they're like, you know what? Better than a price of hot dog or for one hot dog, 2. Like they're
Yeah,
trying to.
it's not
fucking-
cool, man.
It's like just give us the freaking dollar dog.
That's corny,
This
yo.
is bullshit.
So if you want to go get a buy one get one hot dog at the Park, go ahead and go down there on Monday, the 14th. And then Tuesday, this is league wide, I believe. I could be wrong, but we got same team against the Giants, Jackie Robinson Day.
It's an important day.
It's a very important day. Does everyone wear 42 that day?
They
The
do.
entire league? I like that. I like that. And then on Wednesday, somebody explain this to me. We got Red Goes Greek Night. Anybody?
Probably Greek Heritage Night. They have like a
Is it or is it like
Wrong. It's fraternity night, which coincided with the Dollar Dog Night that set everything off. I believe.
I'm
2
surprised
years
there's
ago.
a fraternity night.
Then-
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
We're
I was
finished.
like, them Greeks having a crazy night. My big fat Greek Phillies game. Look at this.
All right, Rob.
Then we're finishing up against the Giants on Thursday at 4:00, right? So this is a weird one because it's the Independence Blue Cross Senior Stroll the Bases, right? So the game starts at 4:00, right?
Yeah.
And I assume they stroll the bases after the game.
Yeah.
Jesse
So that's-
going down.
Yeah,
Jess?
can we do that yet? Can we qualify?
So that's probably past the seniors' bedtimes, right? What's the game? 2.5, 3 hours?
Pitch clock, maybe it's over in 2 hours.
Rock, did you note the age they have for that? Because it used to seem really old, but I'm bearing down on it.
I
What
thought
is
it was
it,
like
it's
55.
55 and
yeah.
older.
Oh my god.
Damn, we're almost there for that. So if anybody's 55 or older and want to go stroll the bags, go
Stroll
down
the
there on
bags.
Thursday at 4:00 start though, so it's a little bit earlier for the old heads.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Sylvia.
I
I'm
got
gonna
one
have
more.
to put a time limit on
Sorry.
Rocky on baseball.
One more
Go
thing.
ahead.
One more thing.
No, this is the best
this is
segment.
not
of
Philly.
You
Pitch
realize
clock
we're
on Rocky
50,
on
wait,
baseball.
this is 50 minutes in. Do you realize
That's
that?
because you went on your fucking spiel about
Rocky on
Schwarber
baseball is the
and
best
everything.
segment we've ever had.
If we
Period.
would have went Rocky on baseball, it would have sparked the conversations.
We could have just done away with any of the actual
Anyway.
analysis. Go ahead.
This is not Philly related at all, but this fucking the weird bat,
The
Torpedo
the
bat.
weird the butthole, the butt
butthole.
plug bat. That's what it
The
looks like to me, right?
No
So-
king shaming.
Not what they
No
call
king
it.
shaming.
How is this like just
Dean
getting
Ross?
discovered right now? Right, one thing. Sorry, Dean and Ross.
They're definitely not listening to minute.
How is this just being
52.
invented right now? As a
Okay, let's just get
professional-
into it
wait.
real
I
quick.
need to know from a real deal baseball player over there, not from you, little league coach, not from softball all star, from
Collegiate.
someone who played a
yes.
collegiate
I appreciate
baseball
you calling
game.
me a softball all-star, though.
What
Mr.
division was that?
Goodhart. This is D1, right? Temple's D1, right?
You didn't play at Temple.
Oh,
Played at Binghamton.
Played at Binghamton there, D1
Whatever.
in the
Played
America
further than
East.
you
They've
did.
made the College World
Wait,
Series.
D
Put some
what?
respect on it.
anyway.
They're D1.
They're D1, the America East, and they've been to the College World Series.
Ooh,
Put
he
some
said,
respect on
he
it.
said Jesse.
Damn. Shut him down.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I need
Go
to
ahead,
hear
go
from a
ahead.
real one.
I got other stuff. Come on.
So
quarterback.
the bat itself, right?
Gosh.
It looks weird as hell. Do you like as a baseball player? Do you think that really helps, or is it just a fucking gimmick?
I've never swung one. We may have to get one and bring it in.
Yeah,
here.
get one.
I understand the science behind it. Basically, what they are doing is in the traditional baseball bat that gets larger towards the end, the barrel is on the end where you don't want to hit
Like
the
the
ball.
sweet spot.
The sweet spot. I mean, part of the sweet spot is on the end. So with this torpedo bat, they're making the sweet spot and the barrel larger and more centered to where you actually want to make contact. And the end of the bat where you don't want to hit the ball is getting smaller. And so, you know,
So
they're
doesn't that
just
take away when you do
reproportioning
hit it at the end? Like you're not getting that pop. at
Yeah,
the
but
end?
when you hit it at the end, it's just okay.
It doesn't go
Yeah.
anywhere anyway.
It's not going anywhere. Yeah.
So why isn't this like adapted across the entire league at this point? Like
Well-
people have a ton of money in the MLB. Everyone should be fitted for
Made
their
by our
own.
friends in KOP at Victus too. Dave O's boys, Victus. They're the ones that have made all these as well.
So the Yankees had this crazy outburst of home runs because of these bats. I'm assuming Why is this-
Stott's got his coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they
why-
didn't get a hit the other night, right,
Yeah.
or something like that.
because they didn't hit it in the spot, right? They didn't hit it in the butt plug spot. So
Come on, man.
why is this not like universal if it's that good?
Because
it's
it's like-
not that good.
It's like
right?
anything new.
So the
It's
players said that-
non-traditional.
Yeah, it's been around.
It's just not that good,
It's
right?
just because the Yankees had the big explosion of it. And I think
Okay.
because it's been they say it's been
They hit
around.
9 home runs
I
in
think
2
they're
innings.
I think they're trying to downplay a little bit, but a lot of MLB has picked it up. But apparently, there's also a science involved where they have to like measure your swings and do all that other stuff.
We got enough money to do that though.
They're going. It takes time to.
Taiwan again, bases loaded, 2 outs.
Well, I think they actually said, I heard Stott interviewed. Actually, Stott was being interviewed by the great Devin Caney, who is crushing it and doing amazing work for 94 WIP covering the Phillies. So she actually asked him that question. and he got into it. He said, I've actually been studied at Victus swinging the bat, and the way my swing is, I'm better with a traditional bat.
There it is. So it's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Rocky
Case
on
closed.
baseball.
Rocky on
baseball.
Thank you. Thanks.
Baseball.
Beautiful, man. All right. Hey, that was a strong start. I appreciate the time and effort you put into that. I'm
No
glad
problem.
that we could get into some of these, you know.
Put in
little-
hours preparing
Yeah.
that.
I know you did.
Yes,
I know you did.
days.
You did a great job. Okay. Something that I can't remember. I don't think we ever rolled this out, but it's something that I wanted to do. And it's very, or maybe we did do it once. I can't remember, folks, to be honest with you. 117 episodes, everything just kind of runs together. But now it is time for the tweet of the week, baby. The tweet of the week. I got to make
Tweet
it
of the week.
Air quotes, quote two.
Can you? I like that, dude. I like that. We don't have any drops or anything like that. We make our own drops. That's how we do it. So time for the tweet of the week. And actually, we didn't get to our tweet of the week last week. And we decided that it was such a good one. That
Was it a quote tweet?
no, this was an original tweet here. And it was actually, so the idea is that Fink and Meech are our Twitter experts. Each of them was going to pick the tweet that they liked, and we were going to kind of compare and see if they
But
ever.
you guys know I was out touching grass and a little bit.
You've been out touching grass, but you did notice this tweet, which was just prior to the start of the baseball season. I
I think it
believe.
was actually opening day.
Okay,
It
so
was
this
supposed to
is
be
the
for
tweet.
last. It was supposed to be for last.
Yeah, we're
week.
supposed to do this last week, but it's still relevant. So let's put this up. This is by one at Meech1. I don't know who that is. At Meech1. I'm really surprised how everyone is cool with the Phillies, parentheses, 500 team post All-Star break last season, valued at $4 billion, end quote, or parenthetical, just running back the same squad, thinking something will magically change. Tell me why I'm wrong. And this tweet instantly went viral.
Cheer the hell up! Oh my god! I wanted to, it was funnier last week just ripping on Meech, but the comments and replies to it are great because everyone's just calling Meech a dipshit, miserable old man, and just ripping into Meech.
Both those things could be true.
And there's nothing that
Right.
makes me feel better just seeing Meech get fucking ripped apart. It's hilarious. Like Meech, great guy, but it's just so great to see happen to him. Like it's funny. And
Yeah.
Meech, we love you,
What does
but
the
like,
valuation have to do with? I guess he's talking about not spending any money.
and they do spend money. He just wants to complain.
He's
That's
saying
all
they didn't
This
go out
guy
and
just
do
logs
anything.
online, just complains all the time on Twitter.com or X.com. Like, come on, dude, give it a break. Sorry,
My
I'm
boy
just
Blake
kidding
from
about
work
Meech.
says Meech reminds him of Grandpa Simpson yelling at the son. You know that meme?
See, now we're just gonna really just pour it on Meech. I was just doing a bit. Now it's like fuck Meech hour.
No, he loves Meech. He's like, Meech is hilarious. He reminds him of Old Man Simpson, that meme. You know, he's just like yelling
Meech
at the
is my guy.
clouds
That's
or
Meech's
whatever.
my guy.
So I think there's something off with him a little bit because I found a tweet to myself that
Is this for this week?
This is my tweet of the week here. I'm not even really in this, but you can see this guy's not on his game. You know, last night during the incident where Rojas
He
messes up the catch.
Is that his
And-
least liked
and-
tweet ever?
And,
4 likes.
and now, you know what? I don't know when I caught this, but Meech tweeted, and in his mind, he thought this was clever. I assume he said, "Way to go, Haas." And I just thought,
put him in jail.
I
He
just
belongs
thought
in jail.
Meech, you
Lock him
know,
up.
I don't know, man. I don't know if he's okay, how he's doing. He's struggling a
say
little
some bad
bit.
Way
things
to
down
go,
the line.
Haas. Huh.
There's just,
You know, Meech
This
is sitting on his
just-
sofa just slapping his
yeah, he's
leg too.
definitely
laughing.
slapping. That's an absolute knee slapper.
Grabs up a
dude.
couple Kenwoods. Thought this is going to be
man.
great.
Oh,
Wait.
Oaf Mode checking in says Meech happens to be right. He's also super down on the Phils. What do you have to say to Fink, Oaf? I mean, Fink is here. He's all smiles. He's
What
happy.
up, Oaf Mo? What do you got to say?
Don't let him rain on your parade, Fink.
They beat the Dodgers.
We beat the
Oh, that's
Dodgers.
so good. Oh man.
We're 7-up in the
By the way,
division.
listen, you know the rules. The rules are if you don't make it here, then we get to rip on you. You know what I mean? If you're not here to defend yourself, then we just rip on you. That's how these things work. Everyone understands that, right? Okay. Couple more things here, folks. We do have, we're about an hour. Jeez.
Uh-oh.
All right. I want to show you guys one thing because I thought this was hysterical. We're into the miscellaneous category
MISC.
on my list, and we will have some. Rock, can you will you be able to do a quick Masters segment for us, but it's got to be like very quick.
What do you want?
Okay. I want it in a minute. Just let me
Something about
pull
the
up
Masters.
something here.
And that was our Masters segment. It's over.
No, he hit me up and
You
said he
did
has
not
Masters
go
stuff.
quick
I got
enough.
notes, bro.
I want everyone to see this. I was doing research for the Masters pool that Rock runs, and I was trying to figure out who to pick, and an ad popped up, and this was the ad right here. Check this out. It was for everyone let me read this.
What is that?
This is the
garbage?
Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl hat. Has the logo on the side, but the best thing is the subtext says Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl LIX participation side patch 950 snapback hat. And it's a participation hat. Like, you can buy this if you want to just commemorate the fact that the Chiefs participated in the Super Bowl.
Where they
Guess
lost
what?
40
That's all they did.
to 22.
They
That's
just
like
participated.
that's like my Jason Kelsey jersey that has the
right.
Yeah,
But this
I don't
is
like
even
this.
worse, bro. This is like, at least in that game, we played a good
This
game.
was before, and that was
Say
also
for-
before. This is
if-
after the fact.
Listen,
Trying to
yeah,
capitalize.
they're
Was it
and I don't know what the-
$4.99? How much?
I don't know
was
why
it?
the algorithm is putting that on my, while I'm looking at it. But
I
if
know,
you-
because that dude called you a libtard at the game.
that's right.
Imagine, just to let you guys know, Walker got out of that too, untouched,
Unbelievable.
untouched. This guy. This is why. How can you not have faith
No, but
in these Phillies?
But real quick, if
The
imagine
fighting
if you were a
starts.
Chiefs fan and you bought like any Super Bowl, I mean, you must have to burn that, right? You got to burn that. Like,
So you saying I should burn my Kelsey jersey?
no, because this game was particularly terrible. Your Kelsey jersey, we played a good game. We
I
almost
think
won that damn game.
that's off the hook because we came back and won against the
point.
Chiefs
Great
too.
point.
So like
Yup.
that's just
Yep.
like
Without Kelsey,
Yeah.
though.
We have 2 Super Bowls, man.
I've been rocking some of my Arizona gear now. I pulled it out,
Oh,
the
you busted it
cobwebs,
out?
now that we won.
Mm.
I should replace.
In addition to your Phillies, wild card division champion shirts.
I was also thinking about I'm probably gonna ride talking about the Eagles in the Super Bowl probably through September. And I don't think it's
I like that.
I mean,
like that.
yeah.
it might go deep in October too. Like I might just
That's all
go
you got.
Oh, I had to ask a question, and this relates to scheduling too. Are we going to get Fink Kuiper coming up with the draft? Can we get you to commit to
And
that, or
Murphs
are we going to
again?
get
Yeah.
that? Is that going to happen?
yeah, sure.
All right, perfect, great. Do you still have the wig and all that stuff?
Tom.
Yes, I do have the wig.
Time.
Weirdly, my dog is obsessed with it. And like when I had it on, would just like try to
yeah.
get it. He would go nuts for it. So I had to like hide it from him, but I have it hidden.
All right.
I have it.
Okay. Last but not least.
That was our Masters segment.
La-
Thanks,
no.
Mark.
That was the Masters
Last but not
segment.
least, Masters Week. Very exciting
Masters
stuff.
week.
A lot of people are going to be really mailing it in at work tomorrow, watching all of the coverage that they make available to us on the live stream.
I think they made it harder to kind of watch.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
It annoys me. The whole thing annoys me. But anyway, what is cool about the Masters? They do that uninterrupted coverage, and the Masters
Yeah,
is
yeah,
different.
But why
It's a
can't they
little
just show this? Actually, I have a question for you, Rock, because
Oh.
I'm not as deft at golf knowledge as like you in baseball. Although your baseball knowledge is really coming along, I commend you.
Nice.
Why don't they just show the whole tournament every day from when they tee off to when they finish playing? Why do they wait till 2:30 p.m.?
Well,
to
they
join
essentially
in?
do. You gotta go to like
gotta go to the
Golf
Golf Channel.
Channel.
No,
or like,
but the truth is that's all restricted to like Amen Corner and like the couple foursomes. It's really crappy to watch. I think the truth is it's because they want to build, like they want people to want to tune into that. They don't want to dilute it. And there must be a cost associated with doing that, mobilizing that the whole day. I could be wrong, but we don't have time for that. What we need is Rod Stradamus's Masters picks very quickly. Rocky, been looking at this. How are you going to bet, by the way? Because a lot of people do this like to finish in the top 10. A lot
Jesse
of
told you
yeah,
to
yeah,
hurry
yeah.
and then ask
So I'll
you
give
7
you-
questions.
I got to get
I got
into
a
this.
whole bunch of notes over here, but I'll give you real quick.
Yeah,
I think
synopsis.
I think the
Cliff
best.
notes.
I think the best way to go is to go top 20 parlay, right? So get 3 guys who you think are going to finish in the top 20, right? So my picks for the top 20 are Russell Henley.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Cam
What do you mean
Smith,
who? He just won. Guys, pay attention.
Cam Smith, and Minwoo Lee, right? So if you parlay that together,
You got to read an article.
right? He's got some taking
can't
notes
read.
over there. So if you parlay that together, right, for those 3 guys to finish in the top 20, that'll pay you plus 1083. And if you throw your 30% profit boost on that, that'll
Okay,
pay you
okay.
plus 1407.
Whoa. We're talking gambling? Let's see that.
Yeah.
Fink's into golf now.
Right.
Sorry.
So that's
Yo,
just a quick.
put that together and send it out so we can all put it in.
I have no
Or
idea.
not.
Or you mean send out to you guys? You mean,
Yeah.
Put
all
in the
right,
group chat. I'll put it out there. It'll be like,
My guy.
Yeah.
Or if you want to get real frisky, you can pull Min Woo Lee out and throw my guy Akshay Bhatia in there.
Oh, but he is balling.
He's
dude.
been balling. And
Yeah,
that-
this is the skinniest dude I've ever seen.
yeah,
I don't know
skinny,
how he
frail
does it.
dude, but he smacks the ball. And that'll pay you out plus 1237. You throw a 30% profit boost on there, you're getting plus 1609.
So wait, is it
So
a
have fun with
30% just Masters parlay profit boost?
It's
This is on
for
FanDuel?
like top X. Yeah, FanDuel
Okay.
top X. You know,
All right.
fuck
So,
top
but I
10,
will
top 5.
caution people.
I'm not a professional.
Wait,
here.
but this
these are just
tournament-
my feelings.
This starts at 8:00 tomorrow.
Yeah, so you better get it in
Yeah,
now.
you got to do it now.
Fire it in.
You
We'll
guys are
fire
gonna
it
have
out
to do
tonight.
Yeah, you got to do
Those
it
odds
tonight.
probably have changed since I talked about
Fair
this
enough.
right
Except
now.
odds movements.
Rock is setting the market, resetting it right now.
All right.
Yeah, and if you want to take a long shot, like I think this guy's gonna win it all, take Russell Henley, man, plus $5,000. Put $5-10 on it. You might cash out. This dude is
Booyah.
a good player.
Is he handsome?
It's not bad.
I don't know what he looks like,
All right.
really. He's
I'm
not
just
great,
asking
but
questions.
Not a bad
he's
looking guy.
top 10 in the world, like undetected, like under the radar. He doesn't hit. He's not a smash.
He's been around for a long time.
He doesn't. But he's like, if you look at his track record from the
You don't have to
Masters-
smash it at Augusta.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have that finesse game. That's why
Are
I
the
think
live guys?
overrated player for this week, and everybody loves this guy. I don't know. Bryson DeChambeau, right? He's a weirdo.
Easy to not like. He's gotten more likable. over
He's
the
a
years.
weirdo. He's super aggressive, and his game just. I don't think his game's going to fit well
He's
there.
a masher, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
smashes the ball, and like, if the weather holds up and it's like smooth and hard, that's not his game. If it's like that place, like you gotta be a good putter. Short
about-
game's got to be
Didn't
nice.
Jim Nance?
You can't just like bash that course to death.
Yeah.
So like he's overrated
All right.
in my opinion. Anyway, that's it for you.
All right, that's good. I like this. This was good, guys.
I had a
great
great
job.
time.
It just goes to show. You guys know I'm a little nervous without Meech because he's my guy, and he's. but I feel like
I'm gonna say without Meech, we got
Pretty.
about 20 to 30 less F words
there's
involved.
no doubt about that.
in this
No
shit.
doubt
I
about
even
that.
like paused. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
sorry guys."
I think YouTube picks up on that, and that's why
You
we're
think?
not getting the ad services.
Okay.
man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're not
All
getting
right.
ads.
Well, we'll see.
We're family friendly.
We'll
YouTube.
probably let Meech come
As
back
Rock's talking about
next
butt
week.
plugs all episode.
Damn, man. All right.
There was no cursing involved. Though.
good deal. Listen, everybody,
Just hard raw sex.
continue. Come on, think. Everybody, please do continue to enjoy the start of the Philly season, and hopefully, the streak of winning these series continues. And enjoy the Masters. I'm so glad we still have not talked about the Sixers.
Free merch, send
Um,
my way, size large. I wear nice hats. I'll
Just nice hats.
send it to my PO box.
Well, someone will probably do an exchange for you with hoagies.
I'll give you some hoagies.
Something to think
Let's
about.
do it.
Yo, it's
All
hot
right.
in here. Listen,
Until next
hot.
time,
I'm gonna
peace
pass out.
out.
Love you all.
Yeah, baby.